Oh, need to back way up now. Well, howdy tubers. Good day. Thursday. And I actually did this video last night, but I didn't like the lighting of it, so I figured I'd wait today till the sun's out and shoot this little video about the Missouri ads. Now, ads basically have one common thing to them. They have a bit end to them. And all different sizes, shapes, but they have a pretty random shape. And a lot of them will have a flat tip at one end. Just, oops, let me hit the tripod. Sorry about that. But these are what I have for ads now. I had some more broken ones like this I could have dug out of the boxes of stuff, but I just dug out a few and figured I'd dig out my best. But this one here, for all you that's been watching me for a long time, this is what I dug up at the drive-in up there at Mackey's Flint Obsessions drive-in before I dug up that killer Apple Creek. This is some really nice Jeff City Church, really nice made ads. Has a little bit of outer core even left on it still. It has a really nice bit end on it. And it has some polish, but the material makes it a little bit harder to see than others. But some really neat stuff. Has little bitty fossils in it. And we can get the focus to work just right. And then this here is another one of my favorite ads. It's out of the Big Sea of Dirt. And there's another ads or two I have this way, but a lot of them, not all of them, but will be heavily ground in these centers, just like this one is. This one here is heavily ground, just as any transitional or paleo point. I mean, it's so ground. If the focusing will work right, you can see the roundness to it. But awesome material. And I found this out in the Big Sea, probably about 7 years ago, the first time the river ever ate it. And this is another one of my best ones, but this is from the Little Sea of Dirt. Super thin, awesome material, and it has that real slight bit end at that end, and has an obtruse tip to it, which they'll be either way, with an obtruse tip or with a flat tip. And this is another one of my favorites, and always a cased one from the Big Sea of Dirt. Has that flat tip I already showed. I don't think that's broke. I think that's exactly how it was made, but super thin. And then has that bit end to them. Here's another favorite one from out there. Even has a little stack on it right there, but it's just nicely made. Nice material. I really like it. And that side, I don't know, get the light to hit it just right, but super polished. Has some heavy polishing on it. And this one here is really cool. I just found this one recently. I think, yeah, this is one I dug up out at the Smetleyville Ridge site, which I have quite a few up here from there. This is made out of oolitic material. Has a natural, dang it, flat tip to it. Even has a little piece of patina on there. Hopefully it's not too bright out here and it's making the color on this do these justice. Awesome material. And it has this natural fracture line that goes plumb through it. Surprised it didn't break, but it's thin, but has that bit into it and that flat tip. Then up here Here's another oolitic mosaic piece. Got a little chunk out of it right there, but it's got a severe beveled end to it. And they didn't do much to knock it in there, just get it in there, and they were happy with it. Then has the obtruse to a flat tip, and actually right there still just outer core they had left. But cool material. And a lot of people wouldn't call this one an adze because of its length, but it is. I mean, it has that bit end to it. Has a heck of a stack on it right there, don't it? And just a teeny bit of brown outer core rock. Maybe a little bit right there, but some awesome oolitic material. And then has outer core tip, flat tip left to it there. And this is some awesome material of mosaic right here. Probably one of my favorites, even though it's all my favorite. But it's always full of quartz inclusions. And if half of this material would go all the way through, it'd be nothing but translucent. But this is an adze from the Smetleyville site. Got that bit into it. Big old obtruse tip. This stuff is tough napping. That's probably why it's got them little stacks on it right there. And this is one I found from the creek. And these sides all the way up here are outer core. And then I think the edge of this rock from here back to this edge is all natural, but they just use it. It really don't appear like it's napped. But from here up on both sides it is pretty heavily napped. And it has a lot of polish used to it, but there's probably a lot of polish to it from the creek as well. Really cool piece. And then here's another little favorite adze. It has a really nice flaked out bit end to it. I mean, the flake scars just go all the way across there. And I ain't sure that's probably piece knocked off by the tractor. I don't know if they made it that way or not. But they had knocked that bit tip off to make it flat. But this piece is heavily polished at this end, and especially on this back side. And just gorgeous material. Then here's another. This is kind of a big fatty adze. Pretty thick. I mean, probably an inch or so fatter. And then has that little bevel into it, but a lot of them aren't like that. A lot of them they'll actually try to make pretty flat. I'd say most of that just is how the rock turns out. Big quartz pocket in there. More of that certain type of mosaic. I'm not sure what to call that stuff, but it sure is neat. And this one is heavily ground on both sides right there, and then you get to the bit end and it's pretty sharp, and you get down here and this is all sharp, but all right here is heavily ground. Oops, sorry. It's heavily ground. Hopefully the sunlight's too much. Then there wasn't much to knocking this piece out. Big old couple flakes off there, and then they put some serious flake scar work on the edge, but then this side's all outer core. Even to the tip still being outer core. And this, as you can tell from that heavy woods patina, that it's from that ridge site. And then here's another one from up there that has a serious mean bit on it. But it looked like this end here was maybe more the business end on this one. But it's still a adze because it's got an obtruse tip and has that serious butt end. This is probably some really tough mosaic. Some really gorgeous material though. Hopefully the sun's working out right. I wanted to catch it kind of half shady. Now here's a broken one. Made of some pretty mean mosaic. I could have dug in boxes and dug forever and dug out broken ones. I just tried to dig out a few. But here's one, and you can tell it's heavily flake scarred on this end right here, and it has a serious bit end going down to it. But I think this was maybe possibly another tool, or maybe it was a longer adze at one time and broke, and then they reworked that right there. Really hard to say when we weren't there 2 to 8,000 years ago or whenever. But that's where collectively sharing comes in, causes us to learn more. That's why we do this. This is a beautiful piece right here. Shame that tip was knocked off, but look at it right there. It looks like it was actually taken off with some kind of impact break. Maybe them prying on something with the tip really hard. Who's to know? But this is super, super polished. They use this piece a lot. Well, there you have it. A little look at some Missouri adze. A lot of them were made. They were a heavy, heavy mid-archaic culture tool. The Smetleyville Culture, guys that made Sedalius Smiths, Melvilles, and Etleys, these were like their most favorite tool. But I have one that, some other nice ones I gifted out, but I give Rick Jitsu one that has beveled edges on it, and just the way it's made, it was a transitional adze. And this was definitely a woodland adze. I mean, it was dug up amongst tons of apple creeks, right next, not even a foot away from the best apple creek I ever dug up, thanks to Mr. Mackey. And who doesn't love a good adze? But I just thought I'd shoot this little video for y'all. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, thanks for your comments and your views. It's you guys that rock. Literally. If it wasn't for you, there wouldn't be no nomadic adventures. Let me turn that up right where you can see it. Okay, guys. Hope everyone has a good weekend. If you get out to hunt, may the Great Spirit lay a stellar adze or a point in your path. Have a blessed and humble day. Thank you.